Welcome back to Razmafzar TV. Today I'm going to continue with the second part of my podcast and analysis of whether and if we can transfer the moves of Varzesh-e Pahlavani to real fighting arts. First of all, please let me just tell you something. I'm a researcher, and my research is academic. At least two of my books, I'm not talking about articles, print articles are published on Varzesh-e Pahlavani. Two of my major books, one, Arms and Armor from Iran, which won the major book prize of Iranian studies, as a chapter, extensive chapter on Varzesh-e Pahlavani. Another book of mine, Persian Archery and Swordsmanship, has also an extensive chapter on Varzesh-e Pahlavani. I trained with and talked with different Zukhane in Iran. Persian, I speak Persian fluently, and I have access to Iranian sources, historical and newly published. So I'm not a person who gains his information from guesswork and just by looking at some sources online. That's very important. And I respect a lot Varzesh-e Pahlavani. I repeat again, and I refer to Pahlavan Habibullah Bolur in his major book, which I'm going also to present to you later in this series, who said, if you only train Varzesh-e Pahlavani and separate it from its practical part, which is Kushti Pahlavani, Pahlavani wrestling, you are not doing a martial art. You are doing like exercises for gaining strength and so on. This has sadly happened. We have practitioners of Kushti Pahlavani in Iran that we have not two separate federations. They're good fighters. I can bet they can fight in UFC if they learn a bit of striking next to it, as many other top wrestlers can do. And I can tell you this as a wrestler. But simply training with mil, kabbade, and so on does not make you a fighter. Having said that, again, I repeat, the problem is on many people who come to analyzing, at least I'm talking about online analyzing without having access to museums, pieces, and trying to do guesswork, is that they do not have, A, they do not speak Persian, right? B, they're no academic. C, they have no access to manuscripts in museums. D, they don't have access to historical pieces. I'm not talking about real arms and armor. So lots of guesswork is done. I do not deny the fact that Varzesh-e Pahlavani makes your body strong. Let's go into Western context. You go to the gym and lift weights, you get stronger and stronger, but it doesn't make you a fighter. A very common misconception of many people who are not into realistic fighting art, be it karate, kyokushin, full contact, boxing, Muay Thai, wrestling, BJJ, sambo, sanda, is if someone looks like a bodybuilder and is huge, they think he can fight. But we know, anyone in realistic martial arts knows that those muscles do not help you if you do not have experience in fighting. That's the first thing you need to take into consideration. That's why Marhum Habibullah Bolur, the late Habibullah Bolur, said, if you just do mil and kabbade, you're completely missing the point. When back then they trained Varzesh-e Pahlavani, part and parcel, or the most important part of Varzesh-e Pahlavani was Kushti Pahlavani, means wrestling. The rest of them were for gaining strength. That's what they did. And then another part which people miss, as I mentioned, we have reports on Varzesh-e Pahlavani that during the Reza Shah, beginning of the Reza Shah period, where it was forbidden to carry Qame Anqad Dare, Back then in Varzesh-e Pahlavani in Zukhane, they trained separately how to use Qame and Qattare. Of course, not all sources report on it, but there was a Dutch researcher who reported on it, but then it was forbidden, meaning that they trained weapons. Another thing we need to consider is Varzesh-e Pahlavani. Many people say its roots go back to the Parthian times, and I wrote in my book, and sadly people do not read sometimes, during the Mongol period where Sarbedaran rose to defend Iran from Mongol invasion and Mongol invaders, many people, they say that they trained in Varzesh-e Pahlavani because they could not train in weapons openly. So this was like a hidden form of training which they could train and strengthen their body, and then they could train their weapon arts hidden. So no one could observe them. So they were two different separate parts. Having said all these things, now we go back, and I'm going today to talk about Takhte Shena. Takhte Shena is a symbol of shamshir, as you can see in all sources, also in my books, and Sang, which is a symbol of shield. Takhte Shena, which is a push-up board, is a very interesting thing. You might ask yourself, what does it mean? It's a symbol of shamshir and sword. Please take this into consideration, that meal is also not gores, meal is not mace, meal is a symbol of mace. And with Takhte Shena is the same. It doesn't mean that Takhte Shena techniques can be used for swordsmanship. I analyzed this, see, look, let me just come back to this move later on, and I come back here as well. Takhte Shena is used to do different types of push-ups. In my books, you can see it. We have Shenai Kursi. The feet and hands are in front of each other at the same level, and the body is straight along the feet and hands are positioned on top. Then one brings down the upper body, chest close to the wooden plank and the ground. You have Shenai Dastupai Muqabel, which has you have in this exercise both hands next to each other and then the feet next to each other after the Shenai Peach. This is the hardest type of push-up exercise. Then we have Shenai Doshallaghe. This is a push-up exercise done with fast movements. Then we have Shenai Peach turning push-ups where the athlete, this is this one, Peach, where the athlete turns to the right-hand side of the body. And then we have Shenai Kursi, serves as a warm-up exercise, right? We have then Shenai Peach as a stat, Shenai Yek Shallaghe. We have Doshallaghe, Se Shallaghe. You can read about them in my book. Please take a look at that. This is different types of Shena, of push-ups. Again, Takhte Shena is a symbol of the sword. What is most interesting for me is after they do that, they take it in a ceremony, they pick up their push-up board and they try to do some footwork. And they move their hands in a limited circles. This one, you see it here as well. But is this the way he's holding the same as they use the sword, shamshir? Of course not. Can you now come and say, okay, I can learn how to use a sword from push-up exercises? Again, of course not, right? I gave this example to you. It's especially evident from Kappa. Then I'm going to show it. We have very good archers. I do also archery. And I'm going to show you that the movement of Kappa is to strengthen your muscles to pull heavy bows, but it's not an archery technique. And thanks heaven, I translated 9 archery manuals on how to do it. None of them says to do the move for Varzesh-e Pahlavani. You see, same is for Mia, same is for Sang, and so on. So my suggestion to people who come to Razmafzar, to historical martial arts, is go and train a full contact art. Go and train in a realistic martial art, not a conceptual martial art, to understand what the mechanics of real fights are, get into a great shape, and then that one combined together, then come and do historical martial arts to understand the mechanics better. See, there are different types of push-ups. If we go now, so it stands for shamshir. Then they move this board. You can see it on my channel also, a lot of videos on Varzesh-e Pahlavani. Then we go to Sang. this type of sang, they're really heavy. You lie on the ground and do different types. Is this the same as this round shield from Parthian times and Sasanian times before um, Iran? I'm talking about pre-Islamic Iran. You can see that these type of shields were round in Parthian times. In the Achaemenian period, we have 4 different major shield types. Regarding shield types, you can go to my book Arms and Armor from Iran. But those shields, first of all, are different. Are they the same as this? Of course not. So you see that they lie on the ground. They're not moving the shields the way you need to do it in a fight, and then they turn and they do different types of techniques. And you can see it here. We have Taki, we have Jufti, we have Qaltan, Sang Giriftani Qaltan, we have Sang Giriftani Peach, we have Sang Giriftani Jufti, which is the Jufti again here. You can read it in my books. You see that these are different types, and these have nothing to do with how to do the shield. Again, both of my books, Arms and Armor from Iran and Persian Archery and Swordsmanship, have extensive parts on Varzesh-e Pahlavani. Again, I repeat, is practicing Varzesh-e Pahlavani important? Of course. We also do it in Razmavsa for strengthening our body. Are they useful to transfer techniques to fight? Of course not. I've shown it to you that they are different words to do that. For that, we have battle accounts. For that, we have manuals. For that, we have real handling of historical shamshirs, and also be a realistic fighter, training those arts to gain the mechanics, to understand the mechanics of this. I'm going to continue with this and with other tools of Varzesh-e Pahlavani. Then I will also present the Habibullah Bolur's book, and I'm also going to show interviews of mine or my students with many leading figures in Varzesh-e Pahlavani to see what I mean and their views on this. Thank you very much. Stay tuned. And thank you for liking, leaving comments. You can also become a member of our YouTube channel. Thank you very much, and keep practicing. Have a nice day.